Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. Excuse me. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make your comments or questions known during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John videos, the contest coverage videos that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, and consider subscribing. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Comments on the channel, sharing the videos, all these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account each and every month, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. And it's about the price of a coffee at Starbucks, one of those fancy coffees. That's all we're asking is just withhold one of those per month and support us instead. Now, if you don't want to do the subscription of $4.99 a month, you can do the super chat, which is located below the chat box. It's a big $sign. And you can donate any amount you like, as often as you like. The only problem is you need to do that during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come in then, make a donation, and if it's not convenient to watch the whole show, come back and watch the replay at a more convenient time. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges in the YouTube chat box that Spark and I can see. So we can see our supporting patrons, and we appreciate you very much. And also you'll get is access to these member-only videos on the Stunthangar YouTube channel. And they're pretty neat. There's some Al Ray videos, some other videos on there. And Sparky once in a while has a video that he does that is just set up, that's just member only. He's even some of the, I think one of the Stunthangar Video Hangouts, he actually made that a members only video too. And there might be more coming. So anyways, it's a way for you to support, hopefully your hobby, your passion. And by the way, if you want to get in touch with me, the best way to do that is to go to my YouTube channel, because this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm only here twice a week, Monday and Friday nights, and I don't check after that or in between that. So I don't see any comments that are directed to me or anything like that. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. I'll repeat that. Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And if you'd locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his Junar XL, I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly, because that's my channel and I get notifications of comments or questions or anything like that. So I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to now go post a link at Stunthangar Forum. That's how you get in here. You go to the Stunthangar Forum and go to At the Bench, and I'm posting it today with today's date, and that's the one you want to click on. The other ones won't do you any good. And now let me go to the Stunthangar YouTube channel and check out the what I call the control panel. And let me go there. Just bear with me for a moment here. Takes me a little bit to get there. A couple clicks, and we'll be cooking with gas. All right, on my way there. I see we do have, I saw this momentarily. I'm still getting there. All right, another click, and I'll be seeing what's happening. All right, so looks like another click. All right, looks like we have 9 concurrent viewers, 5 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, 10 concurrent viewers and 5 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. That helps the analytics of the show. And I see Jack Snavely. He's also a supporting patron of our channel. Appreciate him very much. He says, hello all around the world, just saying hi. Missed a couple of shows, been busy. Here tonight. And he has some airplane stickers and a checkered flag. So, and then there's Jack Snavely again. He says, like is in, and gave me a thumbs up. Thank you very much. And Edward Carlaw says, like sent. Thank you, Edward Carlaw. Great. And let me just do a little editing here. Just hope everybody had a good weekend. I was hoping to do some flying today, but I didn't get a chance to get out there. There's just too much stuff I had going on. And life is like that sometimes. Can't get out and do what I want to do. Looks like Caffeine is in here. Hey, Caffeine, thank you for coming in. You're the first one up.
Oh, hi,
yeah, you're the first one. So how are you doing, Caffeine? I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Good, good. You made any progress on your prowler?
No, I haven't started to build the prowler yet. I'm finishing my Banshee. No, not Banshee, a Cardinal.
Oh, and,
cool. Yeah, I've posted my progress on Stunthangar just yesterday.
Hang on one second. I got an interruption. Hang on one second. All righty. Thank you very much for waiting. My daughter, she brought in me beverage here, and I need that. My throat is threatening for me to cough, so needed something to drink. So anyways, you were saying he's working on your Cardinal.
Yep, it's almost done. Fuselage is covered, rudder is covered, elevator, stabilizer are covered as well, and yeah, doing some covering for the wing and the flaps.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Hopefully this weekend, it can be done by this weekend, so I can have my maiden flight this weekend or next weekend. So yeah.
Very good. I have a Cardinal that a friend of mine gave me, but the lead outs, one of the lead outs pulled out. So I gotta do some minor surgery and reattach. I might just replace both lead outs. I figure if one broke, the other one's probably going to break shortly. So I've had it for several years, but I did fly it once, but his was really nose heavy to my liking. So, but I'm hoping that this Cardinal for you will be better than the Banshee or on par with your Vector 40.
Yeah, hopefully, because I built it way better. Yeah, it should be nice. Flying plane, because my Banshee, despite all the bad builds or yeah, some building mistake, I could fly really really nice. When I did the right framing, when I have the right engine, props, and so on, I can fly better, and I can do the stunt that I need to do. So with much better built plane, it will be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be. Now, is the Cardinal wingspan bigger than the Vector? Is it a wider
Yes.
wingspan? It is?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, it is.
Interesting. Let me welcome Gary Sinclair. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming in.
You're not on YouTube yet, are you?
I believe so.
I can't get you yet.
I should be. Yeah, I'm streaming. It says excellent connection, and we have 16 concurrent viewers. Let me welcome John. Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here. I finally figured out what was going on with my CAD program and got it where I got a lot of work done. So later I'll show you.
Great. Fantastic.
Some work.
So what did you have to do to make it work?
Well, it used to be I could make my palette or my screen cover as much area as I wanted. It didn't make a difference. I could move something over here and I had control. But they've got a controller in there that says you have to define your drawing area. And if you move something outside the drawing area, you don't have control over it. You can't do anything with it. So I figured that out and played with it and got it. So it's working now.
Oh, that's great. I know you're relieved with that. I know that's a good feeling. Let me welcome Brad Lapointe. Thank you for coming in, Brad. Appreciate it. And
glad to be here, Charles.
I'm glad you're here too, buddy. I really am. And then look who else is here. Keith Trossel is here. Thank you, Keith, for coming in. Appreciate it. And we have Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. It says, yo. Thank you, Daniel, for coming in on the chat box. And then Gary Sinclair, I see you have a like provided. Thank you very much. And Gary is also a patron of the channel. He's a supporting member of the channel. I can see by the moniker next to his name. So he's the only VIP in here, someone who's on the chat box and inside here with the YouTube membership. Thank you very much. So let me see here. Let me go around. So Brad Lapointe, have you been doing anything in your shop or anything been flying or anything? Oh, I can't hear you, Brad.
You're muted.
I got out flying today. It was 50 degrees and dead calm.
Nice.
In February in Canada, it doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, well, good. Good. So what did you fly?
Just the old Fancherized Twister. The field's pretty rough right now, so I just got the beater out. And
nothing wrong with that. I had a lot of success with my Fancherized Twister. Matter of fact, I came across a picture of it not on my computer, but I can show you mine.
And profile's a lot easier when you're using a stooge too. You don't have to
Yeah,
worry about starting them upside down. And
I just came across. So let me see if I can find a different angle. Well, I don't know. This is, let me make myself big here. I'll show you my Fancherized twister from days ago here. So this is my Fancherized twister.
oh, looks good.
You
Yeah.
built that?
I
My
know.
goodness.
It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so I really that really helped me out. I think that's the plan. I was actually, if I didn't finish the whole pattern, it was really close. I know I later on competed with a top flight score, and that's the plane I was competing for a while with that. So, but let me welcome Mark Wise. How you doing, Mark?
I'm okay. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming in. So good for you, Brad, for out there flying your Fancherized twister. Now, where are you as far as the pattern? Are you can do all the maneuvers, or are you working on something particular?
Lenny's threatening to make me go to advanced this year.
Okay, so you can do the whole pattern then.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. You'll be right now when you go to compete. How many competitors are usually fighting with?
We don't fly Pampa classes in Canada. The only time I fly intermediate is when I go to the US. Up here, it's like every man for himself. So, you know, I'm a middle of the pack guy up here.
Okay. Oh, very cool. So that should be, you should be very competitive when you go to advanced then.
Yeah. We're not there yet.
Yeah, so I understand that.
I'm a very slow, lousy builder. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, well, that's I think there are people who have maturated through that, and then next thing you know, they're building better and better planes. With every plane, they make an improvement. You know, I'm still, you know, making improvements every time I try something new on every build.
Yeah, Lenny's been coaching me and helping me out, so my everything's getting better. It's just
Very good.
take
Well, next up would be Keith Trossel. So, Keith, last time I know you had to leave to put some paint on your big job. Did you was you able to finish everything on the big job, or where are you at?
Yeah, they got some paint on it and then had some bubbles. Some of the paint lifted with the tape, but
Ah,
Oh,
it's going to be, you know, I'll bring it in.
all right.
Starting to look okay except for that.
I'm waiting for Dennis to get here. I want to,
Dennis won't be on.
we won't.
No, he's in Hawaii with his wife.
Boy, that dirty little bugger.
So I shouldn't say he won't be on. I doubt he'll be on.
Yeah. Wish I was at his place and he was here in the cold with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope he has a great time. But you know, the reason I wanted to, we had a discussion when he was going through the old time rules about landing gear on old planes that didn't have landing gear and placement, and how, you know, basically how you had to put the wheels way forward because that's what they did in those days. And you know, I was arguing about with the Super Stunner, the Gropner Super Stunner out of Germany. And they have a smaller version of it they call the Ultra Stunner, and it shows gear. Looks just like the bigger one. Anyway, I found those plans. So that's one thing I was going to show, and I can do it after Keith's done if you want to.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And while waiting on Keith, Mark, have you made any progress on your impact?
No. But I have a pretty good reason why. And I'll hate myself for this. when flying time is here. There's a lot going on right now.
Oh, that's right. You do have a lot going on. Planning the 50th.
Between Pampa and AMA. Pampa getting ready for the 50th celebration, 50th anniversary.
Right.
Starting to work on the Nats. John Paris has the reins on that, but they're, we work together because the schedule is tight this year because we kind of lost a day.
Right.
Hall of Fame is not my thing, but Keith and the guys, I guess, are probably waiting for all the votes to come in. So just a lot going on, including, I'll just add this, and I could wait, but I'll say it now. There's been a flare up in the last couple of days, maybe a day, and it was based on the AMA president making a statement in model aviation that was incorrect. And it had to do with the remote ID. Okay. And Rich's statement said all model aircraft over 0.55 pounds must comply with this FAA regulation. Well, that's not correct.
Correct.
That's been incorrect for quite a while. Free flight and control line are not subject to that.
Right.
And a couple of our guys, some of the best guys we have, responded, strong, but, without bad words, and said, this is not acceptable. We feel you should send an email to everyone and explain that the FAA does not govern free flight and control line. And to put it in writing so that if we're ever challenged by a local law officer, about why we're not connected, we'd have it in writing. So Rich Hansen replied a couple of times and admitted that it was an error, that it wasn't purposeful, but it did open up tension between the control line community and AMA.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So one of the letters that came from Dave Fitzgerald, Dave doesn't get upset very often. Not I've seen him very upset. And Dave is going to be flying for United, his real job.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked Bob Hunt and I to be on the Zoom call Thursday night with Rich and with Chad Boudreaux. Okay. Because Rich made a good comment. He said, there's obviously more going on here than I see. And I think we should flush out the tension between the two organizations and make things right. So the reason I'm telling you this, the board knows this, by the way, I sent that out maybe an hour ago. If you have, not a feeling, but if you have knowledge of things that the AMA is not doing for us, maybe that they do for others, or has not been receptive to control line with the growth and now maybe the decline of RC, I need to know that. Okay, because this meeting is Thursday night. So, it can't be just a general statement that no one loves us. We're big boys. We're making some progress in a lot of areas, but I think this meeting is good. And I'm having a Zoom meeting with the guys before that meeting. So we're together, on our front. Did not respond as a Pampa president. I wanted to stay out of it at that point. But now I've been asked to be in it, which is fine. Because I know both of them and I'm not shy, but I'm not going to hit them below the belt either. So if you have anything specific that you think I should know that I don't, with the exception of how the 2022 Nats ended prematurely, that's already on their agenda. So I don't want to beat a dead horse. So Charles, if it's okay with you, maybe if we have a bunch more that come on later, maybe I'll give them a quick version of this.
Okay,
Just so they can
sounds
hear
good.
it. And people who are recording, obviously, or watch it, they can watch it on YouTube.
Absolutely.
So,
Keith-
I think in the long run, it's going to be a good thing.
Oh, good.
Let's get it out on the table and I'm only talking about what I know personally and what I've seen personally. And I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I think both sides have a right to know what's going on.
That's good. Let me welcome Stuart. Thank you for coming in, Stuart. And how are you doing?
Good.
Good. So we have a update on Keith Trossel's big job. Let me make it big, Keith.
It's got basic color on it, so I
Wow, looks good.
was hoping to get the numbers and decoration on the wing, but it took longer pulling the tape and working on the trim lines, and then I've got some problems with, you'll be able to see it. Some paint lifted up here. It just take another extra day to get it all back the way it should be.
Wow, that's pretty.
Yes, it is.
That's neat. I like that.
Yeah, looks good.
So the shadowing of that darker trim, is that done with an airbrush, or
Yes.
how do you do that?
It's an airbrush. In fact, all the paint is by an airbrush.
Oh, okay. All the paint. Huh.
All the paint, yeah.
Now, why'd you do it that way with an airbrush instead of like a
I
detail
don't want to
brush?
get the big air gun out because it fills up the basement. The airbrush keeps the overspray down pretty much. When it comes to the urethane top coat, I set up a shed out in the garage with heat and do it out in the garage. We can ventilate out there. So,
Very nice. That looks great. Looks good.
but couple little boo-boos and pulling the tape and like the masking tape around the canopy, pull some tape around that, and I was in a hurry and didn't get all the powder dust off the base primer before I put the color on, and I'm paying for it now. All I had to do is run a tack rag over it, and it would have taken care of all that. But anyway,
Yeah, when you're pressed for
nice, dude.
time, those things happen, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
trying to get this thing ready for VSC
yeah,
a couple weeks away, so I totally
have-
understand.
a black USA here, black numbers over here, and bottom's going to be bare. Except I've got a great big Pampa decal thinking about putting in here. We'll see what happens.
Very nice.
It is nice.
24 or 23 ounces right there. That's without pants and a cowl.
Very nice. Thank you.
That looks good.
And with that, I'm going to excuse myself.
All righty. I know you have work to do.
Yeah, Friday will look more like an airplane.
All righty.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in. I appreciate
Yeah.
it, Keith.
See you, Keith.
Yeah, see you, Keith.
So, Stuart, how about yourself? Do you have any update on any flying or working in your shop?
Well, Brad and I went out about 10 days ago, or I forget how long ago it was. I smucked the tutor. So
You did?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I kind of came down hard on the wheels, but it snapped in half in the same place I broke it last fall. So I just glued her back, and I almost got it. It won't take much to get it back. It was actually pretty nice, clean break. So,
cool.
but I do have a question.
All right.
Because I like to experiment, and I got this beautiful old piece of relic, you might say.
Let me see what you got here.
It's a phone combat.
Okay.
A slow combat one. I got this feeling that I don't know if this will do much, but I'd like to extend the elevator maybe an inch.
Yeah.
If I did, would that help with corners, making them smoother and stuff, or what would it do? Anything?
Be more responsive for sure.
Okay.
Do you have any information? Anybody else can chime in? I've done something like that and it just made the plane more responsive when I lengthened the elevator, like what you
Does it
described.
smooth it out a bit though too with, in a sense, I don't know. Or
I'm
is it
just trying to remember. I did this a long time ago, Stuart, and I just remember I just had more response. I had more authority when I gave it up or down. It just had more authority. And
Okay.
even like on my Strega, I was trying to get the maneuvers smaller, and I shaved my flaps and I increased my elevator on my Strega. So if you're listening, Bill Cox, I forgot to mention that to you, but I actually did that as well. That was, and I want to let you know that was a suggestion by Bob Whiteley, and that's what I did. So, and I even
an inch and about an inch and a half, roughly.
right
I was
now,
another inch.
yeah, you always can add, and you always can remove until you find the feel you want.
Yeah.
That is something you can definitely do. I've done that as well. I kept increasing. Actually, I kept shaving my flaps. Your plane does not have flaps, right? It does not have flaps. That's a flapless plane. This plane here, Stuart, is flapless.
Yep. Yeah, this one. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. So I remember just adding pieces of wood, or I remember I liked it and I took some more off. When I experiment, if I get a positive result, I just try to find the edge of the cliff before the improvement goes away, and then I just kind of stop there or go back one step. And yeah, I think you might benefit from adding length to elevator.
Reason why I thought to do it more was because of the twister versus the fancherized twister, which I'm actually building, which has got the bigger elevator and everything, right? So I just kind of thought, well, maybe I'll try this just to see. I don't feel that good, so I don't know if it'll make any difference.
I remember it having more authority, more responsiveness. If you want that, then I think that's what you'll get.
I think I'd like that a bit in a sense. I mean, Brad says even though like I over control a bit. To me, I don't know. I want to try it and see what happens. And
Yeah, if you don't, that's one thing nice about it. You always can remove what you put on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
I would start out, just try a tongue muffler and lighten the front end up.
Actually,
That'll make it turn quicker.
I think it's got a tongue muffler on that one, don't it?
And Mark has a question or a comment to add as well.
Yeah, Stuart, if it was me, I think the first thing I'd do is check the CG. Because if it's nose heavy, it's going to be sluggish. So it'd be real simple to put some solder on the back, or maybe do it a quarter ounce at a time, and just see if that gives you the response you're looking for. And if it doesn't, at least you can rule that out. And it's a very simple step.
Yeah, I'm tail heavy on this. If I go by the spar, it's actually, you see, it's been banged up a bit, and I'm a big epoxy fan when I come to repair stuff. So it's actually real tail heavy.
Does it fly
But
like
you
it's
don't
tail
need a
heavy?
bigger tail.
Does it fly like it's tail heavy?
See that? I'm not 100% sure because I'm not been in it long enough to.
Okay. Well, one clue for me is when the engine quits, how it lands. That's kind of one thing I watch is how the plane responds. If it stalls, if it's easy to stall when I'm trying to land the plane, it's tail heavy, too tail heavy. That's one obvious way to find out.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is if it's really twitchy, if I have to narrow my line spacing on my handle, that also might be attributed to it being a little tail heavy.
Just you just said twitchy. Is that because of tail heavy, or does that
Yes.
just?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So if I'm tail heavy, yeah, I got to add some weight to the front. Definitely.
Stuart, show us your horn on the elevator. Where's the connection on the horn? Raise it all the way up. That'll descend. Yeah, raise that all the way to the top. That'll make it less sensitive and less jerky to fly. just
Okay.
desensitize the controls a bit.
Okay, maybe I'll do that too first, and then I'll add a little weight to the front then to kind of get rid of the tail heavy. I guess that's probably the best thing I would think, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not even
Yes.
clear of what you're experiencing. It's not clear to me what's happening when you're flying.
I've seen, I've
Ask Brett,
watched him.
probably tell you.
I've watched him fly it, and he's at the point where he's starting to do eights and things, but it's all like you can put the whole maneuver in a matchbox. Everything's really small, and it's like he's flying the combat plane like a combat plane. And
Oh, okay.
he's
all right.
over controlling it, and you know he bleeds off a little bit of airspeed, and it starts to stall a little bit, and it snaps around.
Okay.
He's still learning. I mean, he's getting better. Oh, he's really progressed over last summer. So it's just a learning curve that
Yeah.
one of these days it's just gonna pop and he'll be fine.
I think you're right, Brad. I think if he links in that, puts that push rod in the lower hole on that,
The higher hole.
lower, I mean, away from the hinge line, Stuart. You can move that push rod away from it to the bottom hole. And you'll probably like how it flies. It's going to slow your control down. It's going to slow the reaction down.
Like
Let me welcome.
I've noticed a big difference when I fly this, and then I got a fanterized twister,
Right.
and then I've flown it, and it's like wow, smooth and just huge difference.
Oh, then yeah, I think Brad's on point. Let me welcome Howard Rush and Tryon. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate it very much. And how are you guys doing?
So far, so good.
All right. And Howard, you want to unmute your mic, please?
Not particularly, but
All right. Well, I don't know if you heard what Stuart and Brad and Mark and I and John and Gary was talking about Stuart's airplane. Did you have any? Yeah. Do you have any input on that?
no.
How about you, Tryon? Did you catch what he was talking about?
Not a whole lot, but it sounds like it's just CG issue or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's like if you have adjustability on a plane, you can try things, and if they get better, and you're going in the right direction. If they get worse, you go in the wrong direction. Simple as that.
Exactly.
So try tip weight first, and then if it gets better, maybe you're doing better. Try some lead up position. I didn't see the push rod or position like that, anything in there.
Yeah.
So, Stuart, you may want to bring your control lines in toward the middle a little bit. Take some of the throw out of the handle.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
If your handle will allow you to do that, I don't know if your handle is adjustable that way. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I had decent.
I'm a big proponent of going wide handle and keep controls very close to the pivot point in a control triangle, right? I'm talking about the push rod that goes to the elevator or the flaps. You keep it close to the pivot point. So what you do by moving the control triangle a lot more, and the push rod moves a little distance over there, you have a lot of force on it. So
Yeah,
it's a force multiplier per se.
This one hasn't got flaps on it. It's just an old slow combat.
Yeah, but if it's but again, you can apply the same idea. Get your push rod on the elevator as high as possible and open up your handle.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were kind of saying. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, by putting it close to the pivot point, he means on the belt crank. But you probably don't have access to the belt crank, so just as well to move it up on the
I'll do
elevator
that.
control.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let me welcome Jonathan Karadas. I'm probably butchering your name again. Sorry, man. I just but hey, I missed you. I wanted the earthquake. Dennis Adamison told me there was an earthquake in New Zealand. Did that affect you any, Jonathan?
Earthquake?
Yeah, was there an earthquake there?
Which one?
Oh, it was multiple.
Which one? It was more than one.
We get about 100 a day of various type of earthquakes, mainly all around about 2 or below, but we've had a couple of beauties lately. But no, they were fairly deep and didn't, well, not deep necessarily, but they were in unbuilt up places. So we were lucky with that. But boy, we got walloped with that cyclone. That made a hell of a mess of things. We've lost all our fruit and vegetable growing area further south in the North Island. And funny, it's we're a country of 2 islands. The North Island's, we're still getting over it. And the South Island was basking in beautiful summer heat, 30 degrees. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair. But yeah, sometimes we get those bad earthquakes like Christchurch, but nothing since then in that regard in terms of tremendous amount of damage. Thank heavens, we don't want those too often.
Good. I'm glad you're all right. Dennis was concerned about you, and he alerted me and asked me if I knew how you was doing. I said I didn't even know that there was that turmoil going on over there. So glad you're all right.
Yeah, well, they call us the Shaky Isles, and if you go on the GeoNet computer website every day, you'll see there's an earthquake about every hour somewhere in New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you spoken
Well,
to
we're right.
Gerald? Is Gerald all right?
Well, they had no power until I think it was yesterday. So he was running around trying to keep generators to keep freezers and fridges going and keeping their neighbours' fridges and freezers going as well. And they're okay now. Yeah, they've got power restored now and water back on. But yeah. Yeah,
So
the
was Gerald impacted at all? Was Gerald Wimmer, was he affected?
No, just with the power cut off. The power all up that way, and the roads were closed, of course, up there where he lives, just north of Auckland. It was all flooded and damaged, trees down, etc.
All right, cool.
But he's okay. He's fine.
That's the important thing. Looks like Philip Bailey is making his way in here. Hey, Philip, thanks for coming in.
Good evening.
Good
How's
evening.
everybody?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing well. And
Good
sounds like
deal.
we're all safe too. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Have you been doing any flying, Phil, or been working on your shop? Have you painted any? Have you painted any airplanes?
Haven't painted anything, but I'm working on the shop, trying to get it cleaned up, ready to do some painting. And I got the hoses checked out and everything. So we're gonna hopefully do some painting. If not tomorrow, Thursday's supposed to be 80 degrees. Surely we'll paint then. I'll be busy all day Wednesday and with class, but if I don't go flying in the morning, I'm gonna try to go paint.
Very
So
cool.
we'll get something done. I went and did an audit on how many airplanes I actually have down there and how many actually need paint and little things to finish them. It's a little more than what I thought it was. There's a few more than I thought there were. So I got to get busy and get some of them painted.
I understand that.
It's a shame. It's a shame to have that many airplanes and none of them ready to fly.
Well, obviously you enjoy building a lot more than finishing.
I do enjoy building.
And there's a lot of people like that. That's not unusual.
Well, there's several. I know some guys in Tennessee that they'll come over and they see stuff that I've got started and almost finished, and they pull out their checkbooks and go home with my almost finished airplanes. So whatever. I do love to build more than I love. I'd hate to paint, but I love to build. And I have enough airplanes to fly. I mean, I've never really been in a shortage of having something to fly. So I'm all right. I'm doing all right. I could do a little better. If I were really a trophy hound, I could probably do a little better, but I'm just in this for the money and the women so far. I'm doing all right. I got one woman and not near enough money, so I'm doing all right.
That's funny. That's great. Stuart, I actually had a question about your tutors. I really like that plane. I have one, and mine has an LA-46 on it. What does yours have on it?
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was a good setup for me. I have a clunk tank on mine, and I think I have 2 clunks. It's mine set up like Roy Trantham did a stunt clinic, and he had 2 clunks that move. And I think I have that set up on that plane, if I remember correctly.
I got a clunk in it too. It's a plastic tank.
Yeah. Very good. That's a winning combination.
Hey, Stuart?
Yep.
Did that snap behind the trailing edge?
Sorry?
Did the fuselage snap behind the trailing edge?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I got it right here. So that clamps on it. But that's basically it right here. It snapped here.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Is that a weak spot?
Yeah, I think it is in most airplanes.
Yeah, I would think so.
That looks good. The repair job, the glue up looks good.
Well, it's I broke it there last year in the exact same spot last fall. So
Those clamps come off, right?
yo, well, I hope. Or I'm in trouble.
Hey, Joe Gilbert came in.
Hey,
Hey,
Josh, how the
Joe,
heck
thanks
are
for
you, man?
coming in. Thank you. Appreciate it, Joe.
Santa's here. Good deal.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, Stuart, I got the Snoopies. I'll get
Okay,
you
good.
something off in the mail here in the next few days.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta
still waiting
figure-
on mine. I haven't seen. I went to the mailbox. No, I didn't go today because I figured there's no mail on President's Day. So maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, probably the next day or two.
Yeah.
Actually, some of them went through faster than I thought.
Yeah. So let me see here, Joe. I haven't had a chance to ask you, Joe Gilbert. Have you done any flying or any building in your shop?
Oh, I flew real airplanes Saturday and then models yesterday after church and flew all day today. So it's
Very
Tucson
good.
trying to get ready, you know.
No
Right.
fair practicing that much, Joe.
Well, I need a little practice for sure.
No, I doubt that.
So I was thinking about you, Joe, today, as a matter of fact. I was wondering if, I know every time I've seen you, Colleen launches you, your official flights. But I was curious, when you go practice, does Colleen practice with you every single practice? Or
No,
is
very rarely. Maybe the time or two before we go, but there was 5 or 6 of us out today, and I'm
Nice.
just working on engine runs and props and stuff like that, trying to get things dialed in. She'll tune me up a little when we get there for sure. Oh my goodness.
okay. I was just curious.
Hey, how the heck are you, man? Good to see you.
Who's that for, Phil?
Trayan.
Oh, Tryon. Okay.
He's up there
Okay.
hiding in the corner.
I seen.
And Tryon wants to share something with us. He has a
Let her
video.
rip.
He has a video he wants to share with us. It's all set up. Let me check one last thing. Okay, yeah, go. I think I have it set up. Did I get that? Let me see. Let me just check the sharing. That's all set up. So in Philip's words, let her rip.
So a couple of weeks ago, this is what happens here. I just went out having a little bit of fun. Yeah, I just took just this one video. I mean, just some moments of brilliance over there. Nothing just really good or.
That
I mean,
sure looked good.
Nice pull
That
out.
sure looked good. Good gracious.
That's a very nice pull out.
Yeah. So it's overall it's pretty good, but it's just like not. Yeah, inside loops a little high, a little low, a little right, a little left.
Nobody does them perfect, Tryon. We just want to.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna push past this.
There's your loops.
No, this outside loops are really nice. It's just like a really
They are
nice
nice.
round, just very smooth.
They're all in the same place.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty
That's-
decent.
That's a good airplane.
Yeah. I just messed up a little bit here on the outsides.
Well, it's not really vertical, but it's
Now
pretty
this
close.
triangle, if you watch the triangle, this one is like, mwah.
Yeah, very nice.
Good. That was nice.
Is that electric?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to work on my horizontal aids. After this flight, I just started to put like 2 or 3 flights, only horizontal aids. That's all I did. I'm still pushing it a little bit, you know, just little things here and there.
When you do things, Tron, you see it like this, it shows you all your boogers really good. This
Exactly.
kind of slow motion thing. This is a good training tool, my friend.
Yes, I constantly look at what I'm doing, and I'm trying to work on the worst part of my pattern. Right now is the horizontal eight, is the vertical eight too.
Little bar around the back.
Okay.
This is my biggest problem in maneuver. See, it's like it's not.
Little too big a flap.
You could hurry your top side, Triumph, from your head over, hurry it a little more. It's leaning. You know, you got to get on that left side quicker.
Watch this hourglass.
That's pretty nice.
That was pretty nice.
That's why I call it moments of brilliance.
Yeah. Your vertical legs, you can fix that. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Here, I always go a little low here on the right side. But you know, I have good intersection overheads and stuff like that, so not bad.
That's
I like the bottoms.
And this
Hey,
is
Lynn. Hey, Lynn Burrell. Thanks for coming in.
Whoa.
almost there.
Yeah, it's very, very nice.
You're showing your underwear doing this. This is difficult. You're showing your panties when you fly slow motion, right? No doubt.
No. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is, I think that the triangle, the hourglass were just banging. 4-leaf clover all the way up to the last one. I think it was pretty nice and clean. Anyways, that's it, guys.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Tryon.
That's on grass?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think he's been practicing. He must have better weather than we've had.
No, I wasn't practicing at all, you know, just but I did go out and fly, and so I started like 3 or 4 patterns originally, and after that I started to go and specialize on things. So when I start to fly the horizontal 8s, what I've noticed that I'm doing, like sometimes I make them small, sometimes I make them big. It all depends on what I do on the first one, because whatever I do on the first one is that size after that, right?
Yeah.
If the first one is nice and tight, you know, then the rest of it is nice and tight. But if the first one is a little bit larger, then I copy it and I do the same on the other side. But I'm going like big, small, big, small. I'm just all over the place. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Trey, I'm not the best at judging this, but watching as you come around where I could see the angle of your lines, I didn't think you were hitting the 45-degree line very often. I think that was part of the problem you were running into. Some were down low, you know, that, and so your bottom, like on the clover, your bottom loops you had to hurry them. They were tight, where your upper ones were much larger And, you know, 'cause
On the
your
vertical
reference
8.
line on vertical 8 as well, your reference line wasn't at 45 degrees for the intersection. You were a little lower, and that makes it a little tougher on you.
Yeah,
Now,
I
that wasn't
always
that
do
way on
this.
every maneuver.
So what I'm usually doing on the first loop is fine, but the second loop I kind of go big and come under the first loop, right? And then I
Yeah.
just have to pull it and rush it on the bottom side.
Yeah.
And I always
A lot of us do that.
I always do it just if this is the intersection, I go here and I go on top. When I come from the top, I go below it.
Yep.
So if that's the intersection point, then I have a little bitty one, kind of open it up, go back to the same spot, and kind of come underneath it again. So it's just my intersection dances up and down over there big time.
Yep. That well, and I noticed like on your inside loops, you were small. You weren't hitting that 45-degree line. At least that's what it looked like. And you could tell when you came around where your lines were, you know, at right angles to the camera, so you could see what the angle was. And you were not 45. You were less than that. So you're hurting yourself with having to make small maneuvers. And the only reason I make it up because the flight looked great, and I love the way your plane flies at the corners, like unbelievable. But a judge will nail you if you're got small maneuvers in there and big ones on top and things like that. You know it because you know you judge. You know how it goes.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. I need to work on my knowing where my 45. But I'm so, sometimes I'm so confused because when I was at the World Championship, they put those targets every 45 degrees, right?
Right.
And right now I'm flying much bigger than I flew over there, and that was at 45 degrees. So
yeah,
so it's a big disconnect over there when you look at it like that. On one side I'm going like but it could also be the perspective of the camera, because it distorts the view and
yeah,
everything else. So
I really
well,
I like having those 40 things like you're talking Tryon. If you're doing your lip verticals and you see those down here, you won't be too high. That'll force you to drive up higher by being narrower. The wider you fly, the lower you get. If you're forced to get on that rascal and get it up that barrier, and you'll see them down there. If you're flying on that barrier, you won't be too low because it forces you to get up there to get back to the next one. You got to keep it turning to get it going. I think those posts are tremendous. I still got them at our field. I just don't anything on them, but when you practice them.
I'm planning to make like 4 of them.
Yep. Just you need to do them on a typical down inside,
I will say this about your airplane. It has a tremendous turn. I watched that coffin turn on the hourglass. I mean, that was the closest I ever seen to a 5-foot corner. It wasn't a 5-foot corner, but it was dang tight. And when it came out, it flattened. It hit flat and stayed there. Didn't bounce. Nothing. That airplane has got some really good flying characteristics.
Yes, sir. You can drive it deep. You guys can't imagine how deep you can drive that airplane. Is it the same one I flew, Tryon?
Yes, it's the next generation, but it's just as good, if not better.
You can drive that sucker so deep you'll scare yourself.
Yeah.
It's the first thing
Well,
I've
that
flown
coffin
that
corner,
drive deeper than the Kiyosaki and come out of it. You can
that
run it even
coffin
further into
corner
that
on the
corner.
hourglass.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can take it even further into the coffin corner than you do
Yeah.
a TO and still come out of it flat. It's just
I mean, you
easy
saw it in
plane.
the hourglass. I mean, I'm not flying. I'm flying at 5.45 lap time, and you saw in an hourglass. So I'm turning and climbing in a straight line. Just keeps going.
Yeah.
And on top, snap, turn, goes, turn. It's just defined.
Yep.
Mhm. Flies very well. It's a great airplane.
It's a
But
real
see Trey and fly it, you just wow.
Joe, you flew it a couple of times.
I've flown it several. That airplane's a killer airplane. Killer airplane.
What's neat is because of his modular concept of his design there, I mean, he can take a wing that was 2 years old, put pieces together. Well, you did that on Phil's airplane. You took pieces that were here and pieces there, put it all together. And I don't know if you flew it or not, but I would imagine it flew just
Oh,
just as well.
that's the one. That's the one I've got. It flies great.
Yeah.
It flies great. That's Frankenstein you're talking about. I've got that one.
Yeah.
It flies great.
There ain't no reason
Yeah.
to fly else than that, Phil. That's a good airplane, son.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. As soon as I get back where I can do overheads and do them right, I'll be switching to that airplane and just flying that airplane. Because
You
it
might
was
you might want to
spoiled.
switch to that plane so you can do it easier.
Well, I'm telling you, if I didn't get so dizzy, sometimes I would. But you fly the regular pattern with the best airplane you've got.
Absolutely.
And you're out there flying and you think you've got it. And then you pick up that airplane and fly it 3 times, just 3. You won't want to go back to what was your best airplane.
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine that the weight and there's so many things that are probably going into what makes that a great airplane. But I'm pretty sure the alignment, the way you've got it so it can align, and the weight and the power to weight ratio is probably big contributors to the success of that design.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's funky. When I got to Tran's house, I had pieces. And he took a wing that had not had the connectors cleaned out yet. And we cleaned the connectors out, and he put the center pieces in it, and plugged it into the fuselage and locked everything in, and that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
just works. He's got a heck of a design there and a heck of a
Very,
set
very
of jigs to build it in.
Very good.
Oliver flew that airplane a couple years ago, and I didn't think Tryon was going to get it back.
I let one of my buddies here fly it, and I didn't think I was going to get it back.
Wow. Wow. And Lynn Burrell, so you made any progress on on your impact? I mean, excuse me, your Strega?
I haven't done much this week. I've been toying with some other things.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel really bad. I've kind of going to the dark side. I got an electric airplane.
I can't believe it.
Oh my God.
I knew it was going to happen.
If I could play back a video
All right.
of a couple of months ago.
Hang on, guys.
Hey, Dennis
Who is
here
this
tonight.
guy?
Holy
Who
cow.
is this guy? I think he's an imposter for sure.
I'm gonna have
That
to
guy
leave now.
That guy.
What have you
a
done
couple
to
months
Lenny?
ago was so adamant.
Where is your twin brother, man? Just come on, get him to come
Okay,
out.
I'll go see if I can get him. Okay, hang on a second.
Oh my goodness, that's hard to believe because he was really adamant, wasn't he? Remember how adamant he was?
Yeah.
He was like,
He better
you know what?
shirts and come back. You didn't change
What's
shirts.
all the noise?
Change shirts.
I
man.
only fly glow airplanes. What's the matter with you guys?
Hey, Lynn, 2 years ago, I was like that too. And then I tried one airplane. I just knew, okay, it's going to be a one-hit wonder and I'm done. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, but a couple of months ago, he said he has already flown an electric airplane and he was just going to be flying glow and just
Well,
drop
I did
it.
too, though. I
He
did
basically
too. I
said
flew
just
somebody
drop it.
else's-
I mean, he was
Yeah,
like
I
really
flew
adamant.
somebody else's plane. And I thought, phooey, I don't, it's all right. But then you keep going back to the field and the same people keep having good luck and keep having good luck. And you're fiddling with a daggum needle valve because today it's overcast and really humid and you got to fumble with a needle valve. And the guy with the electric goes out there and he just puts in a pattern just like he did every other day. And the thing works the same every day, every flight. Sooner or later, it even hits a hard head like me. Maybe I need to try this again and really try it serious. And it works.
Well,
Well,
one of the
I
things
gotta-
about
Go ahead.
one of the things about Lenny is he's a big enough man to admit it.
Oh, most
Yeah.
definitely. I've always said that electric is good. There's no doubt about it. I have never argued with you guys about electric being a great setup. I know it's a great setup,
Yeah.
but an opportunity came my way and I've got a used airplane. It's been given to me for a reasonable price and I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens.
So what is it?
All
You'll like
right.
it.
So which
You'll like it.
electric plane is it? What is it?
It's a some sort of a modified Max B.
Wow.
Wow.
So
That's a
it's
great
not-
airplane.
So we'll see what happens with it. We're taking it out and
That's-
try it. I've got the specs on it. I took the cowl off it today and had a look inside. It has the motor is a Cobra 3520, 820
Wow.
kV,
Got plenty of power. What? How many kV?
820.
Mhm. So what you're running
Ooh,
it on,
okay.
4S or 5S?
Now that's the question. The gentleman who I got the airplane from is no longer with us. So I got all his batteries and stuff, but I don't know what he was running in it. So
Okay.
now inside the airplane on the battery floor, it says 5S. So I
There you go.
assume
Probably
he's
that's
running
what
the
you're running.
5S batteries on.
Sounds about right.
And the 5S batteries are Thunder Power 5-cell, 18.5 volt, 5S 3400s.
That sounds about right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet you that's what he was using.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's probably what I will end up trying to run it on anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, he had other batteries there. He had 6 cells, 22.2 volt, 2800s.
Mhm.
He had Zippy 5S 2700s
Those
And-
probably work.
and
Yeah.
Thunder Power 4S 4000s.
Wow.
That's
I think they're all good options, you know.
Yeah, they
Okay.
are.
Except for the I think the 5S that's
That's-
2700. This sounds a little bit on the low
A little
side.
bit weak, yeah, a little bit weak.
Yeah.
It
On the
seemed a
low
little
side is
small.
capacity and versus voltage.
Okay.
Well, then just go
You
out
have
and try
capacity
several.
multiplied by voltage is power, right?
Try
Yeah.
different ones. Try 5, try 6. I mean, you know, whichever
Yeah.
one flies
I
best.
have to get a charger and stuff. I don't have a charger for it. I have the airplane. I have 2 motors, the airplane, and all the batteries. That's basically what I have.
Did he give you
Well,
any
you got this-
propellers?
I have a few propellers. I can show you the props I got because I don't know if some of these props are for glow or for electric. I have no way of knowing. So hang on,
All
I'll
right,
grab the
sure,
props.
we're good. Great. And we have a text in the chat from old control line pilot. He says light given. That's Bob Whitley up in Canada. I hope you're feeling better. I know last time you was under the weather. I hope you're feeling better, Bob Whitley. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate that. And we have 18 likes and 15 viewers. So thank you very much. I think at one time we've had as many as 22 viewers, excuse me, as many as 23 viewers and 18 likes. So just a few of you have not hit the like button, or maybe all of you that's here has hit it. But if you haven't, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny and it helps the analytics of the show. Consider joining our YouTube channel. It's just $4.99 a month, which helps. I think we all should help the hobby. This is about the hobby. Don't necessarily think about helping Sparky or helping me. This really does help the hobby. And we have no new members, so consider joining. I can't remember last time I had a new member on this show. I'm hopefully Spark is getting new members that are joining. That helps the show.
Hey, Joe,
Yes, sir.
I had a conversation with Bill Lee,
Bill Lee's Bill well.
and I called him because Paul Walker recommended him to help at the Nats in that position that Brenda has. And he said he couldn't do it. He appreciated it because he has a lot of racing requirements coming up. But he got
Does he?
back to me and he said, you know, I talked to my wife and I know who would be great at that position.
Yes.
You know who they said?
Who?
Your wife.
No way. I ain't letting her get near that game.
I didn't
bunch
call
I
her.
would let her get close.
Well, look, at least you're open-minded, but anyway, it was a compliment. That's the only reason I told you.
It is. I agree. But that's so kind. There's not enough, nobody's got enough power to do the job, in my opinion. There's too many rabbits running around that nobody wants to obey, and it ain't worth the trouble.
Well, I think we're straightening it out.
We hope so. It'd be great.
I'd take it if I could keep my shotgun with me.
There you go. That would fix it right there.
Your shotgun?
Take a shotgun to 222 with you too while you're at it.
Shotgun with Santa Claus with a shotgun?
A great idea.
Hey, listen, think about it. It's getting
Get the
tough
point
out there.
across. Yeah, get the point across.
Shoot.
So you have some props to show us there, Lynn?
I do. I'm just getting a measurement here, a
Okay.
diameter. So this is a 12-inch carbon
you, babe.
fiber. 12-inch carbon fiber, super light. I mean, this thing only weighs like a half an ounce.
It looks
Yeah,
like
wow.
one of Igor's.
That
Yeah,
looks
that's
like-
probably
Yeah.
a hollow prop made by Igor, looks like by the looks of it, and those are electric props.
Okay. Yeah, because they're very thin, like the hub is,
Yeah.
there's not
And
much
that's
there.
That's a tractor prop, what it looks like.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. a prop.
Yeah, it's a normal prop. It's got the
Yeah.
normal,
Don't put that on a fuel engine.
not a chance. Here's another one, a little smaller, same thing. A little different, little more prop blade, a little more blade area to it.
It's probably the 11-inch prop.
Yeah, same. I think it's made by the same company. Again, very light, very
Yeah.
thin hub. Yeah, almost like half an ounce.
Yeah,
Then I've
I think
got-
they weigh about 13 grams or so.
Then I've got these suckers and they seem like they're a little more heavy duty. Just trying to get them undone here. Hang on, it'll take me a second. And I have about 5 or 6 of these. And it says pole prop on it. Whoops,
Pole
my
prop.
screen's all gone to, here we go.
There we go. Oh,
I don't know that prop.
I don't either.
maybe
Let
so.
The hub is thicker, but not super thick.
Those
like-
are still made for electric, Len.
Like,
Yeah,
Are they
that's
electric?
Electric, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's electric.
So you wouldn't put those on a gas motor.
No,
only
You'll throw a
one,
blade, you'll throw a blade quick.
only
Okay.
one.
Len, you have my molds.
Yes, I do. I do. No, yes.
You can make your own props.
Actually, I don't have those molds anymore. I got rid of the mold. I'm never
Okay.
gonna make props trying. It's just too much for me.
It's okay.
Too much.
I'd known. I'd have
The
volunteered.
guy who has the mold is George Waters.
Mhm.
He
Oh.
has the mold.
Okay.
He said he
Okay.
wanted to make some props and I said, hey, have at it. So I gave it to him at Brodax.
Nice.
Then I got this prop here, which is a bigger prop. It's a 13.6. Oh, my screen's doing all the crap again.
Have you had Naomi uninstalled Zoom?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Hey,
Or just have her
guys,
uninstall it and
Got a few
reinstall it and
minutes
it'll
We'll,
fix
we'll
that.
try it. We'll try it later. Okay.
No problem.
I'm just trying to figure out. You can make me small again if you can.
Okay, I bet you I'll make you smaller. Let's.
Charles, I'll have to leave, sorry.
That's okay, Jonathan. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice nice to see you again, John.
Yep,
Yeah,
thank you.
great to
Thanks
see
for all
you.
your thoughts.
All right, take
Thank
care.
Take it
yourself.
easy.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I have a couple of comments here. Brent Williams says Paul Prop makes nice stuff.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
So
That's,
I've got 4 of the 11.6s of those. And
Show one right quick before you screw up again.
one 13.6.
Well, that
Same
is a
thing.
nice looking prop.
nice looking
That's a
prop.
pole prop as well.
That's a nice prop. Yeah.
They're gorgeous props. I've never seen props so beautiful in all my life. They're all beautiful.
You should have seen the Measlets. They were like that.
This is
But
the
there's the
11.6. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't
they're
find anything that small, you ought to send that to me.
No,
just beautiful.
oh, put that on. Put that
I'll
on
put
that
that on
max
my
speed and
electric
get it.
airplane. You don't find nothing that small.
Yeah, I got one pole prop here and I know it's a gas prop because look at the hub on it.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah,
That's a
big
gas
prop.
prop. So I'm excited to try that on something. That's an 11.6.
Should be
So
nice.
we'll try that on something. So that's it.
Thank you very much. I'd like to see your plane sometime. When you get ready to show us your plane, I'd like to see it.
I'll show it to you the next time because I've got
No
it
problem.
downstairs and stuff's.
No
I've got
problem.
the
I
cowl off
understand.
it and I'm looking in there and trying to figure all this stuff. Like, all the stuff's in it. It's ready to go.
I understand. Thank you very
But,
much. I do. So you
Hey,
have
Charles.
Brent Williams drooling at those props, she says.
Okay.
Brent Williams is drooling.
Well,
All
Brent's
right.
not the only one.
All right. See, I don't know much about them, so I'll try some of them and see what they do, but I won't put them on a gas
Well,
engine except for the one.
They're
Len, I
probably no
sent you a
good at
link.
all, Len. They're probably no good at all. You ought to just box them and send them out to all of us, you know. We'll dispose of them
Hey,
for you.
hey,
Save you
hey,
money.
hey,
We'll
don't laugh.
write and tell
Don't,
you how they did.
don't laugh, because if electric doesn't work for me, it's all going because
All right.
I just won't do it.
don't
Len,
give
I
up.
sent you a link.
Yeah.
I have
We'll
a
see.
comment.
We'll give it a year.
You go ahead,
All
John.
right.
Check or chat.
Whenever you're ready, I can share on the old time stunt thing.
Okay,
But,
cool. All right, one
when
second.
you're
Let
ready.
me, I'll be ready after this comment here. I have a person, I don't think that I've seen them before. Sissy Bones is their handle. And their question is, where do you get the timers, the ECMs, and what's a good ECM? I think it might mean
ESC.
ESC. My name is Jeff. Hey, Jeff, thanks for coming in, Jeff. Well, there's a multitude of timers out there and a multitude of ESCs. I got mine personally from RSM, which are the KR governors, and that's the ESCs that he used. Anybody else have any information
Okay, Air,
regarding?
get the spin 66 and the Fear Ready. That's what I'm using.
And what's a
It
good
works great.
source for that?
Well, I've been getting it from Okie Air, but I don't know.
Yeah, it all
Yeah,
depends what plane are you using. I mean, it just can be anything. You can make your own.
Igor's works too.
Yeah. I made my own for my electric plane, so my own timer with a Arduino board, and was just very simple to make. There are timers out there that people are making that are sharing the information. I think it's I've seen it on Stunthangar for sure. Somebody made a timer, and all you have to just buy a chip with like $5 chip and download the program into it, and off you go. All you have to do is just install some software on your computer. It's not complicated. You have the KRs, the Fiorotti, the Igor Burger, but all depends on what level you are and what your intentions are. So if you just want to fly around, I think a KR timer is going to get the job done just fine, right?
You
Or
can get a whole system from Brodak for that matter.
I was going to say that next. Yeah, Brodak has the Huben timers, I believe. And so that's another one we have to mention. And they have a complete system. So does RSM, but Brodak's another source.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't forget, I think Badass has theirs as well.
Do they have a
Maybe
timer?
the biggest question is what kind of plane is he going to put it on?
And how much, there's a multitude of things there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy an Igor or a Fioretti if you're learning, if you're trying to learn the pattern. Start with a Huben or a something Brodak sells, something like that, because that's the most inexpensive way that I know of to get into it. But once you get up, you're getting up in advanced and thinking about expert. Now look at the Fiorettis and the Igor Burger timer and ESC and some of that stuff. But it just depends on how far you want to go, and like any hobby, how much you want to spend.
Yeah, like Bob Hunt says, only one hobby, and that's spending money.
Spending money, that's it. When I was in racing, The only question they ask, speed costs money. How fast can you afford to go?
How light do you want it? And how much money do you have, Phil?
Yeah.
We
So
have,
what wears out
How's a
first, the
fishing boat?
batteries?
Do
in
what?
my experience,
What
the
wears out
batteries.
first, the batteries?
In my experience, the batteries. That's my
Yeah.
experience.
Okay.
Yeah,
What I
the
think we
batteries.
can solve the battery problem.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
A lot of that is just don't full charge them every time. Shut them off a
Yeah.
little early. That seems to help quite a bit.
And
What-
Mark,
what-
I see your digital hand. I'll be with you shortly.
It's all right.
John wants to show. John Miller wants to show something. So go ahead,
No
John.
problem.
Oh, okay. Well, you might remember back a couple of trips around the sun here ago. Then he was talking about the old time stunt rules, and we got up about.
Super stuff.
I was interested in an old timer from Germany. This is a Grockner Super Stunner, 1952. It has flaps, but I believe you have the option of hooking them up or making them stationary. It looks like it was the line, the push rod comes here, wraps around that upright, and then that same wire goes back to the elevator. But anyway, the discussion was where it didn't have wheels, where would it go? And usually they want them right about there.
Oh gosh, they don't.
Put them on the firewall where they ought to belong and go on with life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have them. Remember how they slide them way forward?
Not everything does. A Nobler doesn't. Lots of airplanes.
I know. Well,
That
I
fi-
brought up the question.
Yeah, okay. I just answered
I
it.
brought up I brought up the question that Groppner has a smaller version of this. They call it Ultra Stunner. Now, I don't think it was published or anything in time for it to be old time, but take a look real quick, get that embedded in your mind, what it looks like. Here coming up is the Ultra Stunner, which is about a 15 size stunner.
Okay.
Looks the same.
Okay.
You brought that to
And-
my contest. I wouldn't even think twice. Fly it all you want.
Well, I appreciate
I
that.
agree.
You know,
Yeah.
I think since it's the same company and the same design, just smaller, that
Yeah,
they
it
put
looks
the
like.
wheels on it. I would think that this wheel setup could go on the bigger one.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nobody that I know of would fuss, John. It's just, it ain't.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
That thing
little
just looks
airplane.
old.
It
Yeah.
does.
The wings unplug on this thing. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw
Like
that.
victory. Victory.
Yeah.
Now, no one's going to complain until he starts just greasing in these landings, right? Then they will look at his landing gear, right?
You're not going to
Yeah.
grease that. That ain't going to grease in easy up there. It'd be all right. It's
Right.
only 5 points for a perfect landing anyhow.
Yeah.
Would you believe I got a guy local that's been greasing in landings with an All-American senior, and he's only bounced one out of the last 15 landings, and it was
Woo.
only a little, it just barely tweaked. Tom Looper he's mastered the All-American senior.
I'm just curious, John,
Nope.
did you happen to measure the where the bottom of that wheel is, where it touches it at 17?
I haven't
or
done that,
18%?
but eyeballing it from where that is, it looks like it's about less than 20 degrees or about 20 degrees, and that puts it right in there where you can do a real nice main gear landing between 20 to 14 degrees.
Is that a single wheel or a set of landing gear?
That's a
It's a set of landing gears, 2 wheels.
Okay.
And it's shown with a diesel engine on it,
landing.
but it says you can use glow if you want.
But everything
you know,
in Germany back then was diesel, though. That's all they really flew. That's what they were known
Right.
for.
But here's the Alt Super Stunner. This is a bigger one.
I
The
don't
difference
see any reason
between
that
the
wouldn't
Super
work.
Stunner and the Ultra is the wings rubber banded on. And that was
Yeah.
the thing they made notice on when in the article on the Ultra Stunner was they didn't like the fact that the the wing wasn't staying where it wanted. Apparently, they didn't have enough rubber bands. And so, but look at that reflex on that airfoil. Right
Yeah, that's
down
quite a
there.
bit. Well, then
Yep.
they changed the line of the rudder,
A little bit.
fin rudder line a little
Yep.
bit, and that catches your eye and looks a little different. But if you realize and look past that, it looks like a larger version of the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's just a neat old time design.
It is. That is
No,
neat.
I wanted to while I've got it here, I wanted to show you this.
Oh, that's nice.
That's beautiful.
That's the classic. That's a Pathfinder LE, and you see how
Yep.
thick it is at the body here, so it can enclose the pipe.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
cool.
the fella in what's his name? He professionally builds airplanes for people. He's down in South America, I think.
Oh, South America.
Huh?
I don't know.
Well,
It would be Tom Morse. South America. I don't-
no.
South America.
But anyway, he's a real good builder. But he built one for somebody in which he took a lot of this out, thinned down that. Now I wanted to show you this. This is Gordon's design. I worked with him on it, did the drafting for it. This is his design for the Pathfinder LE, and it's a good flying airplane. Now, back in '95, I flew at the Nats with the Pathfinder 40, which was my design. And I stole the name because it was related so heavily to the Pathfinders. And I've always said it was based on Gordon's profile. But here is the Pathfinder 40.
That looks nice.
And you see how much
with a
slimmed down that
with a tail
fuselage.
dragger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Geodetic.
Yep. It and Tran, I wish I knew more about those little things you're using to hold your wings and that on. This one, it comes apart. Nose comes off, tail comes off. The wing, I'm not making the wing come apart. The wing stays in one piece, but I am going to lay out the alternate nose section for electric. And real quickly here, here's the wing and the tailplane.
That's nice, John. That is real nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is nice looking.
Thank you very much. I've got some work to do on the ribs. I got to have I'm trying to decide whether to go the quick and easy way and just put fuse mounted gear on it, or whether to go in and put wing mounted gear. Wing mounted gear always looks better in my opinion.
I think so too.
But the T-Bird had wing fuselage mounted gear.
Yeah.
But the T-Bird is 40, 50-year-old design now. So anyway, I've got a couple long days work left before I get this ready to do anything with. But it's getting there. I think what
Bob Gieske made a pretty good living out of a fuselage mounted gear.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Even the Bear had fuselage mounted gear.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's
Yes,
a lot
it
of there's a lot of good designs that have fuselage mounted gear, and it's so much easier to do.
It's stronger.
It's stronger. You don't have to make plywood ribs or whatever to support the gear loads.
I never had any trouble landing the Bear. It lands very smooth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
John, I'm going to answer your question, but after you finish with this, I'm going to show you the new design that I'm working on.
So it'll be Mark Wise, and then you try on, okay?
Well, I'm done, so let me clear out of here. Anybody has any questions before I go?
Nicely done.
Beautiful.
Very nicely done. I'm interested in that one, John. That's sharp.
Yeah, so am I, John. I'm interested in that too.
Okay, great. Here goes. I'm leaving.
All righty. So go ahead, Mark Wise.
Nice airplane.
Thank you.
I just want to bring up something that I'm working real hard on, and if we go back 15 minutes, you'll understand what I'm saying. This guy called in. What was his name, Charles? Just called in.
Oh, the guy about the ESCs and ES.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's Sissy Bones. His name is Jeff,
Okay.
and this is regarding an impact or a banshee. He said.
Okay. If you remember the meeting I had, I don't know, a week and a half ago, or the Zoom meeting, one of the things that we're working on is to get a list of vendors. Okay.
Did that
And
go through?
I sent out 24 emails to a group that Gary had given me. And I got lists from Frank Donnelly, Howard, Jim Hoffman, Mark Gerber, Dennis Nunez, and maybe one or two more. And I started looking at them, and every one of them has names of suppliers that the others didn't know about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And I can't do this myself. Okay. You have my list, and you don't have to go through every item on my list, but if you have I sent it to you to see if you could help new people, because we're going to distribute this. We're going to try to get the other SIGs to do the same. Someone on here talked about something like Polyspan, and all of a sudden there were two names that came to me I wasn't familiar with, and I use Polyspan. So, I think the nicest way I can say this is, because I've said it to the directors of Pampa, is that if you want to grow Pampa and you want people to stay in this hobby, there's a challenge right now. They just can't go down the street and find a hobby shop. Okay. And it's guys like you and me have connections that no one else knows about. So if you could get back to that email and just put whatever effort you want into it. Maybe I've had some that are incredibly comprehensive. And I asked the guy who sent it in, he said it took me 10 minutes. I have all the email addresses on my system. So it was a piece of cake. So I would appreciate it if I could get more feedback from you guys on where you get different things. Whether you're electric, whether you're glow, doesn't make a difference. I found a couple of new places for balsa wood I never heard of. And I've been in the hobby a long time between RC and control line. So all this would go back to you. Everyone is going to get the final version, and then we can just update it. So if you could do that would just be awesome. So, but that was a good call, and the guy wants to know where to get him. And when we say RSM to him, does he know how to get a hold of him?
That's a good question. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's
no. We all do that because we talk the language. For us, it's easy.
Yeah, like we know what it is, but yeah, a new guy.
They don't.
It would be under RSM distribution if he wanted to Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have known that.
That's what I'm trying to do. And
good idea.
Well, Chad Boudreau wants me to talk about it Thursday on the second Zoom call. And he asked me to go over that meeting because I went over it with him and he said, well, there are three things you're doing that AMA should be doing. And this is one of them. Okay. One of the other ones was having quarterly how-to video sessions. Have a panel of people, maybe one or two or three, who are just rock solid on a specific subject.
All right, Brad. Good night. Thanks.
See you, Brad.
See you, Brad.
And to do a Zoom meeting, and whoever wants to dial in can do that. We can share what we do using modern technology. So that's what I'm trying to do, and you guys have been awesome. And if I can get some more responses, it'll just be a lot easier.
All right, I'll work on that. Thank you very much.
We'll work on that too.
Hey, John Miller, your hand is raised digitally. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Mark, way back in the Stone Age of stunt forums. There was a fellow by the name of Iskander Taib, and he was from Malaysia, I think. And he was going to college here, and he had a stunt forum board that was one of the, other than CompuServe board, that was the other stunt board. And when he left to go back to Malaysia, he had to take it down, and we lost a lot of information. But there was a fella at that time, and then it carried over into the time when the Reverend had his board up, the Stuka Stunt board. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he had a you could go to his site, and he had a list of links, digital links that you could go to find any darn thing you wanted to find, and people would send them to me, you know, and then he put them in under the whatever, you know, if it was like landing gear, fuel tanks, fuel, whatever, he put it in those categories, and you could easily find online by going to his link page.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he passed away or what, but his page is taken down maybe 10 years ago.
It probably killed him.
It could have, you know, maybe, but in any case, though, using a link like that is tied in with a hard copy like you're working on would be a very good way to make sure you get good coverage. And the links are,
I think the future of this document, this spreadsheet, it's going to be online. So all the links are online. You know,
that'd be great.
But, you know,
I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I didn't know if you knew that about.
No, I appreciate that. You know, but the whole project made me think about, you know, in Europe, Control Line is pretty active. Yeah. I'm curious where they get all their stuff. And Australia is active. And South America has pockets of now maybe they're getting it in the US, but maybe they're not. You know, I'd like to know those things.
Yeah. Randy Smith used to have a load of links on his website. I don't know if he still does. I haven't been on his website in a couple of months, but he used to have a bunch of links on there. That might be a place. I mean, I'd call Randy and ask, but I don't think he would mind you using his links.
Well, I've checked Sparky's, and you know, Sparky has a section for companies, and a lot of them are way outdated. I mean,
gone.
I'm not sure they're in business anymore.
Exactly, I saw that too.
Yeah. So I figured if Howard Rush can send me a list, then anyone can.
Yeah.
Well, I have pretty computer savvy. Don't let him
from the chat box. Pardon me, Philip. Sissy Bone, this is Jeff. Jeff, he asked if he could give you his email address so you can get that info. But I'm thinking you don't mind sharing your email address. Is that right, Mark?
Absolutely.
So Jeff, listen, or anybody else listen, Mark's going to give you his email address. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, it's my AMA number. So it's AMA 82824 at yahoo.com. And by the way, I've helped 3 people find glow fuel because they're listening in on this, and they called me and I said, here's where I get it.
Give it to me again, Mark. I'll put it in the chat box. What was it again? Your email address?
Oh, AMA.
Oh, AMA
82824.
82824
at Yahoo.
At Yahoo. Let me see. I got AMA 82824 at yahoo.com, right?
You got it. I'm going to have that on my tombstone.
Okay. There you go. I put it in the chat. If you're still with us, you can see it right there in the chat box.
All right.
Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.
Don't worry, they'll still be calling you for information even then.
It's okay. You know what? It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You want to make me big, Charles?
I'm stubborn. I'm
sure.
stubborn.
What do you got going on?
I'm going to make this happen one way or the other.
There you go.
Right on.
All right, John, this is for you, okay? The core of the new design is going to be something like this, okay?
Yeah.
So you can imagine this can be, you can have like a post inside the fuselage with threaded ends, and you can take this guy and just screw it in to adjust it in and out a little bit, right?
Oh, cool.
Very neat, Trey.
To fine tune it, right? And you have something like this. Make sense?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So this is gonna fit through it like that. And when you
Yeah.
rotate this around, you lock it in place.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So quarter
So
turns, all you have
basically-
to do to lock it.
Basically, you have a box with two holes that go like this, perpendicular on each other, right?
Yeah.
So this pin goes in one direction, right?
Yeah.
And the locking mechanism kind of goes like this, and the locking mechanism was going to rotate and lock it in place.
Done.
Brilliant.
You cannot escape.
Brilliant.
That's neat, Trey.
That
And
is
by
brilliant.
taking this and rotating in and out, you can adjust the endpoint where it's going to lock.
Yeah. You're doing
Yeah,
it fine
for,
too.
yeah, fine.
Very
tuning.
neat. Very neat.
Is that gonna be
Wow,
on that new
man,
list, Tryon?
We
What?
need to put you on the list.
Is that gonna be on the new list that Mark is developing?
Absolutely.
That's this is for a Nerf gun. That similar idea. So what I had on my Nerf gun, I have this pin, and the barrel is gonna go in like this inside, and it's gonna slide sideways for locking.
That's not gonna
Oh.
be commercially available is my question.
No, this is something I made. This is all custom.
Wow.
Very nice.
So
Yeah,
here I
I'm
have some ball detents for a ball lock,
Yeah.
a ball link. So the idea is that I can just push it with one finger like this, and it aligns the hole, or I can push it the other way and locks it in, right?
Very good.
So you can see
That's
the ball is gonna go in there, in a slot.
You know, I have a few skills with the CAD program, but you got some skills with the machinery, I'll tell you.
He's got lots.
But couldn't it
Lots.
be
Yeah.
couldn't it be put into CAD, and then maybe those colleges or those vocational schools might maybe have it might be a perfect job for them to learn how to do machining. We can get a good deal maybe.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
they're
I already have a design for my new control system, which is the Revolutions control system, and it has updated everything, updated locks for the wings. It does have updated. It's a lighter control system because the way it's made. It's a little bit simplified since I found that certain things that work, and because of that, so originally I didn't know where my bearing is going to stay in reference to the point of actuation for the push rod, right? But I found out the bearing wants to stay here and the push rod wants to stay over there, so they never intersect actually. So because of that, now I can make it more compact, bring them together like this, because this is going to be here, this is going to be here, and they're going to work just fine like that. So yeah, and it does have like a lot of leverage in it, right? So if this is your if this is a pivot point and your force is in here on the elbow, right, goes like this, right? But if you put your push rod here somewhere, whatever force you have here, basically you double it to the push rod.
right. It's like a lever with a yeah.
Lowers
You got the long arm and you got the short arm, but the short arm is along the long arm, but
The fulcrum.
your pivot point is at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look on a control on a control triangle, again the ball is pretty close to the pivot point.
Yeah.
So there's a tremendous amount of force in there, even on a very fine movement.
Yeah.
Because it multiplies. First of all, a typical control triangle is like 4-inch. Typical bell crank is 4-inch by about 7/8, 3/4 or something like that, right?
Right, right.
Mine is 4-inch by I think it's at the low end it's about 5/8 to start with, right?
Yeah.
And as the more you move it, because of the way it's designed, it's actually that 5/8 it might increase to about 3/4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it varies a little bit, but if you think about the force, it's almost identical. It's almost identical to what you usually get out of your normal bell crank. But then think about what's happening on the opposite side. Actually, double whatever force is over there is going to be double on my push rod.
Yeah.
Because of the mechanical advantage from the leverage, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
so I'm getting nearly double the amount of push on my
Yeah.
control surfaces because of the mechanical advantage. They don't move
What?
much, but they don't
Yeah.
need to move much.
But
But
you're not
because you
gonna,
have so much force on that, whatever you deflect, they will deflect there.
you've moved yourself away from the Netzebon wall because you have the force in there, your multiplier.
Yes. Yeah. And it's very soft and docile around the center too. So it's easy to do loops, fly level and stuff like that. But when you ask it to go over there, you do have the force available. And actually almost has double the force that you usually get. And that's what makes the control surfaces move with so much ease, even though you don't have a lot of line tension. And
Yep.
I mean, you see the result how it turns. And if you ever flew it, you know, Joe, Phil, you guys know, like when it turns and you stop turning, it just locks and just tracks.
It does that.
It's effortless over there.
Yep. I was working on a bell crank type of a system. I want to drive the flaps at mid length of the flap, and I want it to come out and be adjustable out where I get it. So if I've got an inconsistency and I've got one flap that's not aligned properly, I can adjust that real quick and easily. But it also would allow for it to be driven towards the middle, which I think would stop some of the losses you might get from portion or torsion issues and stuff like that. So anyway, but along that, the push rod for the elevator would go straight back. Well, I want to take the back end of the airplane off. And so how do I do this with a push rod that's going clear to the belt crank all the way back to the elevator? And I came up with a slotted, first off, it's a sleeve that goes over the push rod coming off the belt crank, and it's got a slot on both sides. And the other one that plugs into it has got a rod going across. It slides into that slot, so that captures it, keeps it in place. And then as it's bolted in, it can't move, you know. And so I'm working on that slot, the turn, and locks it into place. And then so you can take it apart easily without have to go through.
Are you breaking the fuselage somewhere behind the wing?
Right at the trailing edge of the wing, not the trailing edge. I mean the hinge line.
Yeah. Well, right at the hinge line, then it should be relatively easy to connect a push rod over there.
Well, it will be, except I won't have a flap horn there. See, so the push rod is coming from the belt crank and going all the way back to the elevator.
John, why don't you just put a coupler in your push rod itself? Just take your push rod, just take your push rod and cut it. And then essentially do you like this, where they slide together, where it's, you know, and then put a screw in the near side of this one and the near side of this one. And
Yep.
it'll, that equals out the stresses on it as much as you can. And it shouldn't be that hard to get that machined. I think that's how Howard did his new, I still want to call it an impact. He calls it a dog. That's the
John,
best looking dog.
Yeah.
I've seen.
John, here's a simple idea, right? Imagine you have a piece of aluminum, right? Round shape, right?
Okay.
And you just cut it in half, right?
Yeah.
Follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can come with two pieces of aluminum like this on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a pin through them, a dowel pin. So when they're aligned, they don't go like this.
Yeah.
And right next to it, it comes with a screw. And you can
Yeah.
align this right at the window as the fuselage comes together. So when you take it apart and put it back together, you get your two pieces together, put them on a pin, get a screw, boom, lock them in. So now the push rod
I
is
like
it's
I like it. I like
it's,
it. That's a good
it's
idea.
rigid. To get your fuselage in, lock, and you're done.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I would also, to simplify things on the elevator portion, make the elevator our three pieces. Right? You have a center section and the two outer sections. You have some two carbon fiber tubes that go through them, right?
Actually, my stab. Let's see. The rudder unbolts. It has a screw coming in from underneath, going through.
I know that system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
To me, that's a little bit complicated. That system, it's a little bit complicated because it's just so much to work on. It's like, and then you have to take the elevator out, disconnect the push rod from the elevator. Just so much stuff is going on in there. What I've done in the past, John, is like I took the center section, the center block of balsa wood in the elevator that you usually put in there, right?
Yeah.
And just drill two holes through it, bang, bang, right?
Yeah.
And put some aluminum tubes inside and build the elevator just normal, right? And once you're done building the elevator normally, you just take a zona. So you just cut it here, right? And take the center section, plug it inside the tail of the fuselage, connect your elevator, all old push rods and stuff like that. It's permanent in there, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
And then the elevator is just going to come from the outside on two carbon fiber rods, butts in. That's it. It's simple. And when you take it apart, you just take one screw here, take the two elevators out, put them together, whatever. You can connect them back together, put them in a box, and you're done.
Is that the system you're using on your airplane?
Very similar to that.
Very similar to that. I'm not seeing it in your, but if you can make a sketch or if you have a drawing on it, if you just email it to me, I'll take a look at it because it's I'm not seeing it, and the reason I'm using the way I use it, I've done it several times in the past.
Yeah.
And so it's familiar to me,
I know many people do the same thing, but to me, in order to take the plane apart, what do you have to do? You have to take the tail off, take the elevator off, remove the push rod.
But see, there's a difference on the push rod. I don't like having to have a little door there and try to get in and work there. There's not enough room to work to make adjustments on the elevator connection, so what I have done, it's like on this one, same thing. I did the same thing on this. Get it around there. But don't beat it up so much.
Your bandwidth is kind of low, John Miller, but it's still showing, but your bandwidth's a little bit low.
Okay, we see right. Right here. You can't see it very well, but it's right. See that little shroud right there?
Yeah, I
That's
see how
where,
you pull it out of the fuselage.
yep. And I have an adjustable rudder behind it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, up there. So that makes it real easy though for me to remove the push rod. It's right there in the open.
I see that. Yes. Yeah. Mine is contained in the fuselage. Actually, I never take off on my fuselage. I never remove or any of the control surfaces. The bell crank, the push rod to the flaps, to the elevator, none of that stuff comes off
Yeah.
or disassembles. It's permanently inside the fuselage. That's all there's to it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Maybe.
so yeah, no, it's the idea of the 3-piece elevator, right? Okay. Number one, if your wing does this, okay, because of the flight loads, when you go inside, it just wants to go up, wants to go down, right? That's very detrimental to the flight path of the plane, and it makes it very loose on the line, right?
right.
But if the elevator does a little bit of this, it really doesn't matter at all. It's not
That's
hurting
true.
anything. So you can allow it with some carbon fiber tubes, and I found it like about 3/16 diameter carbon fiber tubes. They're about perfect for the elevator. It's all you need. And you can find 3/16 tubes as well of aluminum with the ID. So all you have to do is just drill just get your center section, just drill the 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, put tubes in the front and the back in the center, right? Build it normal, cut it with a Zona saw, and then now you can install your push rod, everything in there in the center section, right?
Mhm.
And when the
Yeah, I'm
elevator just
beginning to see it now. Yeah. I'm beginning
Yeah.
to see what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, give me in the chat your email address, and I'll see what I'll send you something, okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
I'd like to see it too, Tryon. Send
Oh,
it to me also.
And Len, check your
Yeah, I saw it just now. The only problem is unfortunately, it says that charger is out of stock.
I thought it was in stock when I looked at it.
Today, I went on there today because my buddy here uses the same one, and he was telling me how good it is because you can charge 4 batteries at the same time.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a great charger, but apparently they're out of stock. So I said to him, and I'll say the same thing to you, I'm going to hold off for a little while and see if they hopefully get it back in stock.
They get it back, Glenn, because when Trey told me about it, it was out of stock. 2 weeks
Okay.
later, it was in my mailbox. I went ahead and sent them the information to go ahead and buy it. And
Well, maybe I'll do the same thing then and just
yeah,
see what.
it came
Yeah,
about 2
because
weeks
the
later. They
prices
get
are
them
going to go up.
Yeah, because it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
200. It's like $218 or something. So you know,
Well, when I
whatever.
got mine, it was 198 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's 218 now. I think it says.
And how many
I
watts
still
is this
think it's
charger?
reasonable and about as inexpensive as you can go on a 100 watt per channel
Yeah.
charger.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you know, for me it works great. I go in a flying field and I'm flying the batteries. After I'm done flying, I'm walking to the charger. I'm putting it on the charger, load the next battery, and I can fly nonstop basically.
Yeah, that's the good thing about being able to do 4 batteries at once.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, or you can buy a single charger one time and then you buy another
Well,
one.
I
you buy
can do that.
another
I can
one.
do that as a for now. You know what I mean? If I have to, if it doesn't come back in stock in the next couple of months, then I'll have to do that.
Go ahead and invest in the 4 charger, because if you decide you don't like it, it's a lot easier to resell than a.
Oh yeah, most definitely, for sure.
And
I don't think I'll have any trouble with that.
well, if you need something temporary, I can lend you one.
Okay, well, that's cool. Thank you.
That's even better.
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, because I'd like to get the good one, not something that's like I
Yeah,
don't
go ahead
want
and
to
get
charge.
the
I
good
don't
one.
want to charge. I don't really want to charge 1 battery at a time. It's take me all day just to charge 4 batteries to go to the field. Okay.
You go buy the inexpensive when you're going to spend about $180, $190. The good
Right.
one's about $220.
Yeah,
If you don't
exactly.
go ahead and get the good one, you're going to kick yourself and wish you had them now.
Yeah,
You're going to end
exactly.
up with a cheap one and the good one.
That's,
How
yeah,
do I know? I have 2 chargers.
been there, done that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Lynn, you may want to consider a glow powered charger.
I'll see what I can get. I'll see if I can get a charger that's powered with a road net. I just might go with that. Yeah, that's a good idea, Mark. I never thought of that. Good thinking.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's what they pay you the big bucks for.
There you go.
Hey,
He's still waiting
Stuart,
for his check.
Stuart. I thought about you today when I was looking there to realize I hadn't sent you any plans for a twin.
Oh, that's fine. Whenever you get time.
I'd like to get a set
I'm
of
gonna
those
have
too.
time now that I got the computer running smoother. But I thought I'd send you, I've got 3 twins. I thought I'd send you all 3 of them.
Sure,
It
that'd be
didn't
great.
cost me anything to send them, but you can then take a look at which one you want.
Yep, that'd be good. Thanks.
Is one of them a Pathfinder twin, or what are they, John?
One's a Pathfinder twin, one's the Panzerflug. And the other one is the twin flight streak.
Very cool.
Hey,
The
John,
Pathfinder twin.
Yeah,
that Pathfinder LE, was it for a 40 engine or for like a 60 size?
Gordon has a 40, I think, what was the
Yeah, the Super
smaller?
Tiger 51. Super Tiger
No,
51.
no, not in the Pathfinder LE. He had a rear exhaust on that.
He had a
With
it was a 51, but it was a PA.
Yeah,
Oh,
PA
boy,
51 in there.
PA
Okay.
Now-
51 rear exhaust.
Okay.
Something he started out with the PA 40, the light 40, what do they call that? I don't know if he kept that in there. I don't think he did. I think he went to the 51.
Okay.
I went with the Stalker 51 in mine, and I felt I had plenty of power.
Okay. Fair enough. Is anybody that you know of built a 60 size Pathfinder or not? Not that big?
Yeah, Gordon did. He took he had me take the Pathfinder 40 design, and I scaled it up to a 60 size.
Okay.
And he destroyed that. That was the one where we were using a kind of a full I-beam setup.
Okay.
And it was one you slide the ribs on, got to the notch, you twisted, and they locked into place. It was really easy to build and align. Trouble was, though, that the spar didn't have a I-beam cap on it anywhere.
Oh, that would do it.
And so after a bit of flying, pretty soon the wings were doing this.
Starting to
Yeah.
stress out and then it folded. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and he got through flight, and he had a lot of fuel in his tank, and he started seeing how small he could make a square loop. And I mean, he got it really small. And he had hit about the 4th or 5th one, and just all the boom all over the place.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay.
But Brett got the airplane from him, has rebuilt it, and he's been flying it. So.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just remind me about something when you say the boom and the flaps moving and all the stuff. I think it's important to have rigid control surfaces. And you guys kind of use some veil on the top of the flaps and stuff like that, which it might add some strength, but I don't think it adds much of anything. You're much better off putting some lightweight carbon that's weaved like that at 45 degrees biased.
Yeah,
and if you have like sheeted flaps or even a solid piece of wood that's lightweight, you can use that carbon fiber that's plus minus 45 degrees, and that's going to make it rigid like a board. Really rigid.
Yeah.
It will not give anything.
Some guys were using before carbon fiber got readily available. Were using 3/4 ounce fiberglass cloth.
Yeah,
I
but
like
you have to
that.
place it at 45 degrees, not
45
0.9.
degrees, yes.
John, one of the things about that, I built the Arabian Bearcat, the BBQB, and Al told me to put multiple layers of light glass cloth, but nobody ever mentioned staggering it. And I made a set of flaps. I made a set of flaps, and I did it like we're supposed to do it. I put 3 layers of lightweight fiberglass on it.
Wow.
It gets very rigid, but it gets very heavy. So I made
Yeah.
another set after talking to Trey, and I made another set with carbon and biased it, like he said, 1 layer, and it's as strong as the fiberglass, and it's a whole lot lighter.
Oh,
I
I only brought up the fiberglass because that's the old way we did it for the
Well,
carbon
that's the way
fiber.
I've always done it, you know.
Yeah, carbon
But I went
fiber is
back and
first
made
superior.
another flap and fiberglassed it with it biased. It is so much stronger. I mean, you won't believe the difference. Trey is right. You get the strength of the longitudinal and the whatever, both ways glass by turning it this way. You get the strength of both of them. I thought it would go off in an angle tangent, but it doesn't because the force is not at a tangent. It's straight on it. So
yes.
It works.
So there is a technique you can apply to whenever you guys fiberglass a nose, whenever you put carbon on something, you know, it's a very nice technique you can use to do that super light without soaking the nose with epoxy or something like that. So the idea, first of all, around the nose, if you don't want to go around the nose where you have like curvy areas, right? With 0-90 orientation, with 0 is parallel to the fuselage axis and 90 is perpendicular, right? You want to rotate your cloth at 45 degrees because that's going to confirm much nicer to everything. So what you want to do, you take your fiberglass, you put it on a floor somewhere, right? And you take your spray can and shoot horizontally above it and let it rain down on your fiberglass, kind of thing, right? So you go like this, and you can see that the plume of contact cement 3M177 just kind of going down on your cloth, right? So then you can carefully pick up the cloth, set it up on the top of your fuselage, and you can just with your hands just gently, you know, move it, and it's going to stay stuck to your fuselage perfectly, right? In position. It's not going to move from there. So now you are hands free, basically, right? So what you do, you take you mix your epoxy. The slower curing, the better off you are. Let's say 30 minutes. And you can add 5 to 10% of isopropyl alcohol to make it thinner, right? Just to thin it out, right? And you take your roller, your paint roller with one of those little 4-inch rollers.
The little sponge roller, yeah.
Exactly. And you just go and just roll it into the epoxy, right?
What a great idea.
And after that, this is the trick here, right? If you take a paper towel after that, you roll it on a paper towel, right? Okay. So what you're basically doing, you're drawing your roller.
Yeah.
And if you take your roller, especially if you use the blue paper towels, you're gonna see it right away. If your blue paper towel turns dark blue, you have way too much epoxy on it. Okay. If you roll the roller on a blue paper towel and you don't see it turning blue, right? That means you have very little quantity of epoxy in your roller, and that's what you use to roll with to use the roller on top of your fiberglass, which is already sitting around the nose, flaps, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And by doing this, if you follow this technique, you put very little epoxy in it.
So therefore, very little weight.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just enough to soak it. And if you look at the reflection of the light, so you have a light above you, you're gonna see the light bouncing off of the fiberglass into your eye, right? So if it's shiny, you know you got it wet. Just move on. Okay.
Good
And you
idea,
should be
Trey.
able to put a little bit of pressure on that roller to kind of squeeze the little bit of epoxy that's inside of it out. So
Good
that's
idea.
kind of the trick to it, right? And the trick with 3M77 on the top of your material, I mean, you can pick up the material after that, just place it right on the top of your part. And you can just, with your hands, you can just lay it down and even roller form it around the corners. If you have a round flaps at the leading edge, I mean, you can go all the way over on the other side. It's already staying there.
Yeah, it's not moving
You
around
know,
all the time.
Trey, that trick with the 3M77, I use that when I'm using pattern sheets on the balsa. So I put a pattern sheet with all my plans, and everything's laid out like it's on a sheet of balsa. So all you have to do is the same thing. I turn it over, put the balsa there, and put the ply there, and I shoot like that over and let it fall on it, because I don't want it to stick real hard. I want to be able to peel it off, but I want it to stay
exactly.
there. But I also do that if I have to stack the balsa wood, say make 2 or 3 or 4 deep, like ribs or something, and I only want to use one pattern, because it's more efficient to cut 4 at a time or whatever is in the stack. I do the same thing with that, and I lightly stack all of the wood together with the 3M77. And if you do it like you're talking about, when you're done, you can just peel them apart easily. They're real easy to build multi-stacks and things like that. And on these by Panzerflug, I've got to change that name, but that twin, I cut all the parts, made a kit in an hour and a half.
Yeah. But
because
but they have it. That's the technique, with anything, with fiberglass on top, you can always pre-position it and pre-place it in position. It's going to stay there. Hands free.
I like that idea, because normally when I'm putting fiberglass on something, it's all over the place. It's moving around. I'm trying to figure out where to cut it, and I'm messing it up, and I hate it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. Let me interrupt. We're going to end the live stream portion. And like I said, sometimes the after party is better than the live stream. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. We had a really good show. Thank you very much. So stay tuned. We'll be back Friday. Hopefully you have a chance to work and stop or go flying and come back and tell us all about it. Until then, tight lines and fair winds.